On a quiet September afternoon in 2022, one Venmo transaction triggered significant worries within a family in Georgia. $2,385, accompanied by a spine-tingling note. "They're not gonna let me go. Love you. There's a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door." Several hours later, 59-year-old Debbie Collier was discovered burned and naked in the forest, far from her residence. No indications of conflict. All items were accounted for. Still, there was something about the situation that didn't quite make sense. Did this involve abduction, a homicide, or perhaps something much more unusual? In this case, police chased leads that twisted and unfurled. Online detectives formulated complete theories, and an official conclusion would stun the public. This is the story of Debbie Collier and the cryptic message that started it all. Debbie Collier was 59, residing in Athens, Georgia, alongside her husband, Steve. She was employed at a real estate agency and was recognized by friends and coworkers as caring, dependable, and passionately dedicated to her children, particularly her daughter, Amanda Bearden. People who were acquainted with her portrayed her as the type of individual who would go out of her way to help anyone. Debbie's life appeared unremarkable at first glance. She liked her job, dedicated weekends to gardening, and maintained strong connections with her family. Yet under the serene surface, subtle conflicts existed. Amanda, her adult daughter, had recently returned to live at home with her boyfriend following some personal difficulties. Police records later disclosed several previous domestic incidents involving the couple, not directly concerning Debbie, but happening within her home. Debbie's spouse, Steve, was employed by a nearby firm and frequently was away from home during the week. Having separate daily routines wasn't uncommon for them, a detail that would later complicate the chronology of Debbie's last day. Saturday, September 10th, 2022, it began as a regular day. Surveillance video from a Family Dollar in Clayton, Georgia, approximately 70 miles from Debbie's residence, showed her entering the store at about 2:55 p.m. She donned a red top, shorts, and held her handbag effortlessly. Staff recalled her as courteous and collected. She bought a tarp, a poncho, a lighter, a refillable torch, and a reusable bag. She talked briefly with the cashier, then left. What was notable in this footage wasn't anxiety or fright. Debbie didn't appear to be a person who was being followed. She did not appear to be a person in distress. She appeared normal. That detail would turn into one of the most bewildering aspects of the whole investigation. Once out of Family Dollar, Debbie got back into her black Chrysler Pacifica minivan. It's not certain where she headed afterwards. However, at some point between 3:17 p.m. and 3:19 p.m., Amanda got that now well-known Venmo transfer and message. "They're not gonna let me go. Love you. There's a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door." For Amanda, it was concerning. Not merely the message, but the sum, $2,385. It wasn't a figure connected to any clear invoice or obligation. It appeared random or encoded. Amanda attempted to contact her mother right away. No response. She subsequently reached out to Steve, who replied that he also hadn't heard from Debbie. By evening, feeling increasingly worried, Amanda submitted a missing persons report to the Habersham County Sheriff's Office. Deputies started tracking Debbie's phone, directing them north, toward Tallulah Falls. The next day, on September 11th, Debbie's black minivan was found parked along a country road close to the entrance of a forested area off Highway 441. Her handbag and mobile were discovered inside the open car. Close by, officers trailed a steep slope into the forest. On the morning of September 11th, 2022, deputies found Debbie Collier's van parked near a Forest Service road in a rural part of Habersham County. The door on the driver's side was open. Inside were her mobile phone, handbag, and purchases she had made the previous day. The keys remained inside the car. There were no clear indications of a fight. Located just below the embankment, about 50 feet from the roadway, investigators found a partially burned area. Debbie Collier's body was found, unclothed, positioned on her back, surrounded by burned remnants of a fire near her midsection. Close by was the red tote she bought, along with the tarp and lighter. The setup was strange. It appeared to be neither a tidy crime scene nor an obvious suicide. A detective later characterized it as a scene that raised more questions than answers. Her body showed no signs of defensive wounds, and her clothing was discovered in a heap close by. There were no clear drag marks, and there was no vehicle damage, indicating she had been pushed off the road. Detectives rapidly concentrated on the Venmo text. If Debbie was abducted, how could she have sent it? Why add the detail about the flower pot, which pertains solely to family? And what is the reason for that particular dollar figure? Amanda Bearden, the daughter of Debbie, emerged as a key figure right from the start. She informed investigators that she had spent the previous night with her mother and described their relationship as close but complicated. She lived with her boyfriend at Debbie's house, and they both had a recorded past of domestic events and substance-related problems. Amanda stated that when she got the Venmo notification at 3:17 p.m., she was at her home waiting for her boyfriend. She drove to her mother's house shortly after, found her car missing, and eventually reported her missing that evening. But investigators noted something unusual. Amanda didn't seem panicked at first. Her timeline also contained small inconsistencies. For example, she initially told police she saw Debbie that morning, but later changed the time to the night before. When the story came in local news, amateur sleuths filled the internet with speculations. Certain individuals thought that Debbie had been abducted by an outsider. Others blamed Amanda and her boyfriend, referencing their financial difficulties and shaky past. In the meantime, the phone records and autopsy would be vital in reconstructing Debbie's last hours. The sheriff's office in Habersham County acquired cell tower data and tracked Debbie's movements heading north. GPS data indicated her minivan was located on Old Highway 441 soon after she departed from the Family Dollar store. Surveillance videos from surrounding shops indicated that no one was trailing her. There was no indication of another vehicle stopping alongside her. Then arrived an unforeseen turn. A Family Dollar clerk verified that Debbie had been by herself, composed, and not rushed during her transaction. The footage was examined thoroughly by the investigators. No indications of anyone waiting outside, no cars following her as she left. This aspect greatly complicated the kidnapping theory. Another crucial component, the autopsy. Debbie's death was ruled as a result of inhalation of superheated gases and thermal injuries, indicating she was still alive when the fire started. No indications of blunt force injury or strangulation were present. Her hands and arms showed no signs of defensive wounds. Toxicology revealed trace amounts of medications, but no signs of incapacitation due to force. This disclosure sparked two rival theories. Either Debbie was coerced into igniting the fire under distress, or she had somehow done it of her own accord. Both explanations were at odds with the facts. Amanda and her partner underwent several interviews. They rejected any connection, claiming they were unaware of her location after the night before. Amanda maintained that the Venmo message was not something my mom would ever write. Still, investigators examined financial records looking for potential motives. Debbie's accounts didn't show large debts, gambling, or hidden transactions. At this point, theories were swirling. Do you think the Venmo message was written by Debbie under duress, or by someone else entirely to stage a scene? Drop your thoughts below. This is where public opinion splits sharply. The blue flower pot at Debbie's residence was also examined by investigators. The key referenced in the Venmo message was precisely where she indicated it would be. There was no indication that anyone had intruded. If anyone had compelled her to send the message, it was odd they would mention a house key that only the immediate family was aware of. An additional strange component was the tarp and torch. Why would a kidnapper permit her to purchase those items freely? If this was a premeditated suicide, why travel such a distance, purchase the items nearby, and send a mysterious message implying foul play? As detectives dismissed suspects individually, the attention momentarily shifted back to Amanda. Debbie and her daughter had financial ties, leading some to think the Venmo transfer might suggest coercion or debt repayment. However, without any physical proof linking Amanda to the location, the theory stalled. Another misleading clue surfaced. A strange vehicle reportedly spotted close to the location when Debbie's van was stationed. Internet speculation indicated that a black SUV had chased her. However, authorities discovered no reliable video or witnesses to support this claim. By late October 2022, the situation had become more complicated. Investigators announced they did not think it was a random incident and that they found no proof of abduction. However, they refrained from labeling it a suicide, creating a void that the internet quickly filled. Each detail, the calm shopping trip, the cryptic Venmo notification, the wildfire scene, the absence of defensive injuries, seemed like jigsaw pieces that were mismatched. Even seasoned investigators confessed they had never encountered a case exactly like it. In the weeks that followed, investigators explored more thoroughly into Debbie's private life, her health history, her recent behaviors, her mental condition. Friends characterized her as somewhat stressed, but neither depressed nor suicidal. She intended to go back to work, had no known history of self-harm, and seemed mentally stable in the days leading up to it. Nonetheless, detectives started subtly favoring self-immolation, a rare yet not unknown form of suicide. The absence of external wounds, the particular items bought, and the clues at the location gradually started indicating direction. This change in emphasis surprised the public. Internet detectives had spent weeks believing this was a failed kidnapping or a family plot. However, the concrete evidence was pointing to a far more surprising and sorrowful conclusion. By November 2022, investigators had discreetly changed their approach. Following weeks of public speculation regarding abductors, familial plots, and mysterious individuals, the Habersham County Sheriff's Office was ready to issue an official statement that would completely alter the course of the investigation. On November 21st, the findings were released by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and the Sheriff's Office. Debbie Collier's death has been ruled a suicide. There is no proof indicating any wrongdoing. It was an astonishing declaration. Following months of speculation and media attention, the final determination was that Debbie had deliberately started the fire herself. The conclusion was drawn from autopsy findings, toxicology results, mobile phone records, and surveillance video. No DNA from outside sources was detected on her body. There were no indications of a fight. GPS data indicated she drove by herself, parked intentionally, and approached the burn site without any companions. The autopsy revealed that she passed away due to the inhalation of superheated gases and thermal injuries. No distress, no substances in her system that would suggest coercion or impairment. For the public, this ruling was hard to accept. Debbie's cryptic Venmo message, "They're not going to let me go, love you," felt like the exact opposite of a suicide note. Many people online refused to believe it. Amanda Bearden, Debbie's daughter, said she was not convinced either. She continued to give interviews expressing doubt about the ruling, though she was never charged with anything. Investigators recognized the message was strange, but cell phone forensics indicated no one else accessed her phone that day. They indicated that the message could have represented a last emotional release, rather than a straightforward declaration, perhaps using symbolic language to convey feelings of being cornered. Critics claimed that Debbie lacked any recorded mental health issues, rendering suicide improbable. Friends characterized her as resilient, sensible, and enthusiastic about upcoming endeavors. Detectives highlighted subtle personal stressors in her life, such as financial issues, difficult family relationships, and a recent minor health concern that may have affected her more than others recognized. The store video became a key element of the official determination. Debbie seemed composed, determined, and alone while buying the tarp, torch, and tote bag. Nobody trailed behind her. No signs of another vehicle were present in the vicinity. This tranquility, the researchers contended, bolstered the hypothesis of a premeditated act rather than a kidnapping under duress. Nevertheless, internet sleuths were not content. They analyzed every timestamp, Venmo transaction, and family member statement. Some proposed that the decision was a cover-up. Some speculated about unknown third parties that were never discovered. The sheriff's office held firm. All credible leads have been exhausted. No evidence supports foul play. This investigation is closed. In the months after, the case disappeared from the news, yet its impact persisted online. Reddit discussions, YouTube clips, and TikTok analyses maintained the intrigue. Debbie's passing resonated deeply. not only due to its sorrowful nature, but also because of the unsettling combination of contemporary technology, mysterious communications, and a conclusion that challenged anticipation. Numerous spectators likened it to contemporary myth creation, a Venmo payment substituting a handwritten message, store surveillance footage taking the place of witnesses, a narrative that developed solely through digital traces, yet still allowed for limitless interpretation. Amanda Bearden mostly stepped back from the public eye once the case was resolved. She was never charged, and officials publicly exonerated her of any wrongdoing. Yet certain online communities continue to examine her interviews and timelines closely, believing there's additional information to uncover. What is your belief? Was this really a sorrowful yet deliberate action, or did the inquiry overlook something obvious? Share your opinions in the comments. This situation remains a point of contention among people to this day. Regardless of the reality, Debbie Collier's last hours highlight how digital footprints can convey one narrative, while feelings express a different one. Her death stands as one of the most perplexing contemporary inquiries, where the official findings and public doubt never fully matched. Debbie Collier's tale goes beyond mere mystery. It showcases how a single message, one peculiar element, can spark the imagination of an entire nation. Following the official determination of suicide, Debbie Collier's death raised more questions than it provided answers. The case was resolved for the investigators. To the general public, it was far from that. The Collier family encountered intense scrutiny, particularly Amanda Bearden. Even though she was exonerated of any participation, the court of public perception was not as lenient. Interviews, body language videos, and statements were analyzed in real time, each providing the basis for new theories. It serves as a reminder that in the digital era, families of victims experience grief, but are frequently scrutinized. So here's the question we leave with you. Was Debbie's death a meticulously planned, deeply personal act, or was there a more sinister element hidden beneath? Share your thoughts below. Your viewpoint could shed new light on a theory that continues to divide the internet. Debbie's narrative is not just a mystery. It illustrates the intersection of contemporary investigations and online conjecture, where each GPS signal, every transaction, and all CCTV footage contributes to a shared digital puzzle. Maybe that's the reason this case has lingered in the minds of so many. Because it shows how, even with all our technology, the truth can still feel just out of reach. Thank you for watching. If this case gripped you as much as it did us, make sure to subscribe and check out our deep dives into other mysterious cases. Until then, stay curious and stay safe.